So we are just waiting for people to join in and kickstart. It's been a while. Yeah, she's here. Alus. 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 Here she is. Hello. I was just saying, I'm waiting for people to join in before we start. It's been a while that we had, it's been a while we had, yay! Look at my guests. Ah! You're looking so take away.
Thank
You're looking so take
you.
away. Should
Thank you,
I
Dr.
just take it
Fatima.
away? Should I just take it away?
Oh, please.
Okay. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation. And how have you
Thank you,
been?
Ma. I've been blessed. Thank you. Thank you.
Obviously, it's written all over you. You've been blessed certainly, and we hope we've all been blessed. At least we are still alive despite COVID-19, and we are so yeah. So we should be grateful. So to everyone just join, let me just say, okay, we only have you right now, but I'm sure people will join in later on when we start. So we are going to
Yes.
be talking about sexual child grooming and adolescents, and it's a very important topic. And our guest is so pumped. She said he's so pumped up about the topic. So
I
I'm pretty
am. I am.
excited. I'm pretty
I am.
excited as well. Yeah, I guess it's been a while. We had an Instagram live chat, so that is why perhaps people are still like, okay, what's adolescent health hub again? Because most times we've been doing Facebook live chat and all of that. But
Okay.
anyway, I think we should just kickstart the conversation, and
Sure.
people will join in. Then we keep reintroducing the topic so that they can contribute and if they have questions. So once again, this is Edun Lisa,
You got
social
it.
activist, social activist and Vance Forum initiator. So she's going to be talking to us about sexual child grooming and adolescents. So me too, I want to learn more about it. So I think the first question is, what is sexual child grooming? What is that?
Thank you, Dr. Fatima, for having me. This particular subject is something that is very dear to my heart because I experienced it when I was much a child, so I know how dangerous it is, and it's a subject that it's very prevalent in our society, but people don't like talking about it
Hmm.
because because they see it as shameful because of the victims involved and the perpetrators. So they rather sweep it under the carpet. But the more we sweep it under the carpet, the more people get hurt. So it's better to talk about it and let us look for a viable solution, public solution, than keeping it secret. So thank you so much for having me, Ma. Sexual child grooming is a very destructive and harmful abusive behavior. It's harmful to a child because the child's brain is not fully developed enough to know what is good, what is not good. I'm supposed to give my consent. I'm not supposed to give consent. So it's a very dangerous thing to a child. And if I'm to define it, sorry, I wrote it down. Sexual child grooming is an harmful and abusive behavior to a child because the child's brain is not fully developed to make informed decisions to consent or not. Sexual child grooming is a method used by sexual abusers to manipulate a child's perception and the adults around that child so as to gain access to the child and spend time alone with the child, wreaking sexual abuse, destructive havoc on that child psychologically.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah. So I guess people aren't even expecting this much about what child grooming really means. And I think you've given like just a snapshot or a summary of what sexual child grooming means. So now going to the next thing, it's about okay, let's talk a bit about how common this problem is. Yeah, hello, I do. See, you have your namesake.
Ah! We're on the page. Thank
Hello, thanks
you.
for joining me. Thank you. We are excited to
Thank
have you
you.
here. and we are talking about sexual child grooming and adolescents. So we just started. So now, how common is this problem? I mean, the sexual child grooming. We would love to know, like, share your stories, your personal story, or personal experience as regards sexual child grooming.
Yeah, there are lots of stories. During the course of bands actually started with I just go social media, express my thoughts, and people usually contribute and stuff. But along the way, I found out that a lot of people have stories that they don't, they they are too they are ashamed to talk about, and most of those stories gear towards this angle. And because it has happened to me before, so I actually relate to the story. There was a story of a man on Bounce Forum who told us about, as in, his mom died when he was 6. So the dad remarried. The dad is a sailor. The dad remarried. And the dad, because the dad is not always around, he goes to work, comes back, goes to work, comes back. You would not believe that his stepmom started raping him from 8, when he was 8 years. Now
Wow.
till like 20, he stopped it by himself when he was 20, because guilt and all that. So he had to, and it wasn't like he practically told her, let's stop this thing. He just ran away to start his own, rent his own apartment and all. But the astonishing story here is his dad has 4 kids other than him. The two first children are his kids. Nobody knows. Just, it's a secret that him and his stepmom will take to their grave. So he's married now with his own kids, but that thing has been eating him up. And because of that, he says he beats up his wife. He has anger issues. He has this, he has that. He hates women. He has a lot of things. He has this, sometimes he goes into depression, like in and out, pronto. He doesn't know who to talk to. This is, it's killing him. His dad is aged. So if he talks about it, in short, stories like that, there are people that are dying. And then recently, there's this story of the 17-year-old boy during COVID-19 that raped his 2 sisters, that impregnated and raped his 2 sisters. There are a lot of things happening in our society. So this topic is very, 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 very important, and it's crucial, because the funny thing about this child grooming is that the people that usually do it, they are not even rapists. No, a rapist, there's a difference between a rapist and a child groomer. A rapist might be someone you don't know, rape and leaves. But a child groomer is someone that came to eat and lick the plates. And it's not even finished licking. If you allow him, he will lick the plate, he will scrape the pot. Then we hit it, bam, 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 say I'm true. Because imagine a child being abused constantly from, like, how many, as in, for a very long time, what it does to a child.
Yes.
And it's worse. The effect is worse than a rapist, because it's someone you know. You're always seeing this person constantly. You're seeing this person, and the person is a pretender. You know that this person is a devil. The person comes to your parents and is smiling and is all chatty and is giving you gifts, and you can't reject it, and is threatening you. You can't do anything about it. It makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel betrayed. It makes you feel, it's very dangerous. Very, very.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know what to say right now, but yeah, because I can feel that the way you're sharing, I can feel, you know, the experience of what you've gone through, and based on what other people have related to you, how that really hits and how it really hurts. And that is why
Yeah,
we're
it's
having
it
this
is.
conversation. Yeah, that's why we're having
It
this
is.
conversation, so that a lot of people can learn, listen, and know how to safeguard their own kids or their siblings or whatever from such occurrences. So the next thing is so what are the common causes of sexual child grooming?
The what? I didn't get it, please.
Common causes of sexual What are the common causes of sexual child grooming?
Okay, causes of sexual child grooming. Before we talk about the causes, we have to go to the history. Everything starts from the beginning. There's always a beginning. The history of being sexually victimized during childhood. I'm always mentioning childhood because it's less, it's common in adolescents and youth and stuff, but it's not as damaging and common as a childhood, because for a child is not able to, mostly they're not able to, they don't know what is right and what is wrong. They just know that they just feel this thing is bad. And along the line, when they are growing, they feel dirty. It makes them mature ahead. They are not able to roll with their mates, their age mates. They start, you know, that. So the causes of that is, for a perpetrator, it could be as a result of low self-esteem. Number one, low self-esteem for a perpetrator. A person might have low self-esteem, and they might feel, okay, I'm not able to woo a girl, I'm not able to woo a guy, I'm not able to socialize, but I'm sexually active. If I touch this child will not be able to see, will not be able to tell anybody. That is a cause. Low self-esteem, peer pressure. I want to belong, I want to do what my mates are doing, but they're not able to express themselves. So they go for a child who is less able to defend himself. Then there's a difficult family background, in that if a family is violent, the family, they're always quarreling, the place is no longer a home, it's a house. When I mean a home, I mean to say a home basically is not really the building. It's more or less like the people. The people constitute the home. So if the home is not conducive, if the home is not love, if there's no love in that home, and so it could lead to a lot of mental issues. So difficult family background, drugs, depression, drug abuse, depression, poor social skills, dysfunctional intimate relationships with their parents, with their siblings, dysfunctional intimate relationships. A girl, for example, a perpetrator now, who is in a relationship, who is in a dysfunctional relationship, maybe the guy beats her up and all that, she could choose to unleash, and she's sexually active, she could choose to unleash with the nearest child available. Not just a nearest child available, a child obviously that she has been grooming for a while. A guy, I mean, I'm interswitching, if you notice, girl and guy, because it's not only guys are not the only ones who do this evil acts. Girls too, women, women, men, everybody's involved in this. People can go low to do this evil. Aggression, but it's not restricted aggression. There is yeah. Then we have there's catfishing. We have catfishers. There's catfishing and catfishers, but later we'll discuss on that, catfishing and catfishers. So basically, these are the causes, but they're not restricted to these causes of child grooming.
Okay. So you listed a couple of causes. So I just got some of them. You said low self-esteem, peer pressure, difficult
Yes.
family background, drugs, depression, poor social skills, catfishing and catfishers. And you said something that is not restricted to just one gender. It's both males and
And
females
female.
can be perpetrators or be victims. So now, and okay, so the next question now is, we are not shifting our attention to adolescents. Can they be victims and at the same time perpetrators of sexual child grooming? I'm sure you've said something about it, but maybe you should also buttress further on that aspect.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yes, adolescents can be victims. In short, nowadays we've actually seen a rise, according to the U.S. Bureau, the U.S. Bureau of Child. I can't really remember the exact agency, but we've seen a rise in child grooming, especially with adolescents. In that, with adolescents, which is from age 10 to 19, now they know what is right and wrong. So catfishers usually are more careful around them. Sorry, groomers, sexual groomers are usually more careful around them. But how it works with adolescents is that because that period is when their hormones, their pubescent hormones, started getting ripe. Let me use that word. It started having, which is quite natural. The teenage hormones the hormones rather are getting mature. They are getting to experience themselves from other angles and stuff. So it's quite natural that mentally and physically there will be changes. There could be this ticklish sexual, changes generally in their body, mentally and physically. So this leads them to want to, this feeling of independence, this feeling of, I know what I want. Let me use this word, stubbornness, if I'm to use it negatively. This feeling of, I want to be independent, I need my privacy, I know what I want, this kind of feelings. There's a rise in that age, and catfishers pry on that. But in the sense that for adolescents, they do more of catfishing. Now, catfishing is an adult pretending to be another person online just to lure, a victim. It could be, they could, to whatever aim, maybe to defraud the victim or for sexual aims. A catfisher is usually an older person, or it could even be a teenager. Adolescents, youths, could be anybody who chooses to pretend to be who they are not online just to lure a victim sexually or to defraud the person financially. Those are catfishers, using fake accounts to do that. So for adolescents, because nowadays there's mobile phones are everywhere, so they spend more of their time online. So so this sexual grooming is usually more online for teenagers and adolescents rather. It usually takes place with them online. Then on a rare occasion, it happens physically. It happens, but because they know what is right and wrong, so most times they're able to, protect themselves because of the kind of value their parents has imbibed in them from childhood. So they know, okay, this is wrong. I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it. It's not their choice. It wasn't like they were led. But online, it's more popular with them online because these adults, they know the right words to use. They're like professional groomers, so they know how to lure them. But physically, it happens, but it's not that easy to get an adolescent. But it all boils down to the kind of value the parents has imbibed in them from kids. Because as an adolescent, the child might want to start belonging. Okay, this person has a boyfriend. I want to have a boyfriend. I want to have an older boyfriend. This person has an older girlfriend. I want to have an older girlfriend. This person buys gifts, just this, does that. This woman, there are lots of guys, a lot in our society, that older women sexually abuse them as children. Older women, come and rub my back for me. From rubbing the back, they abuse them. And you see them, most times, you see them discussing about it with pride. My virginity, now one woman like that, my coming, my mom's friend, my mom's sister, my mom's this, that. They, as in like some of them talk about it with, they don't mind, they can talk about it, but it doesn't make it right. That's a groomer. The person involved is a groomer. And just because the boy sees it as, I'm a guy, nobody can rape me, they see it as a normal thing, doesn't mean it is right. So bringing it back to adolescents, it all boils down, it's very, very popular with adolescents, but it's more of an online phone, it's more of an online thing and peer pressure centered. And it all boils down to the values the parents has imbibed in that child, in that adolescent when the person was a child. Because the values are what determines the gravity and strength of the yes and the no that he or she says.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that aspect. And your namesake here says lack of sex education makes adolescents more
More
vulnerable,
vulnerable.
and which I
Yes.
totally agree with. Very important. And like you said, just going back to what the last point you said about values is very, very important. Being involved at a very early stage, not waiting till when they are okay, 15 before you start having that conversation. When maybe perhaps when it is too late and they're already either groomers themselves or they've been groomed. So now the next question is so what are the telltale signs of a child groomer?
The
That's one.
telltale,
The next
yes.
thing is, yeah, the things to look out for.
Okay, the telltale signs of a child groomer. Like for people that are just joining us, let me rephrase. Child grooming, basically, if I'm to simplify it, child grooming is, this uncle. Everybody knows this uncle, this auntie. And we all, as kids, we all get to play with this uncle and this auntie or uncle loves children. But there's this particular child, this uncle and auntie is attached to, he loves this child. As in, like, he's always around this child, buying gifts, doing things for the child. And along the line, we find out that because whenever this ever they now trust this uncle to like, the child be like, okay, I want to go and spend time with so uncle, go. The uncle will carry the child, put on a lap, nobody sees as anything. The uncle has now become so familiar with the family that nobody sees those irregular sexualized little details as anything. Then until one day, the uncle now goes full flare with all boldness and talks to the child about sex and abuses this child with threats not to tell anybody. So the telltale signs of child groomer. There are some kids that and adolescents that they are not expressive. It's not every child that knows how to express themselves. There are some children that are silent. They know how to keep things to themselves. It's not like they don't want to or they don't know how to talk. It's just their nature. Just the same way we have introverts and extroverts. You have some children too. It's a personality. They are introverts. Now, if you have a child that is an introvert that is not able to express himself, or a child that has been threatened, how do you determine or how do you know that something is wrong with this child? Number one very important sign is there's always a change in attitude in that child. If a child is a type that used to be very active, used to play, used to play, is very talkative and all that, and suddenly the child is quiet. The child does not. When you tell the child to go and play, the child is not in the mood. As in, it's distant. The child is always distant, always keeping to himself. You know that something is wrong with your child. It is not the fire of the Lord that has not helped you, or the prayers that has not calmed the child. No, it's not because the child is not getting mature. Last week, this child was very active. This week, the child is withdrawn. No, something is wrong. Change does not happen that fast. According to a proverb, someone said it takes 21 days for an attitude to be formed. So last week and this week is not even up to 21 days. So there is nothing like, God, I thank you. My pikin don't quiet. No, something is wrong with that child. That is the time to call your child and talk to your child. Ask the child what is wrong. Another very important sign to look out for is that a perpetrator is usually more interested in forming relationships with children rather than adults. You see I'm not saying it's wrong. There are some adults that they love children. They are not good with adults, like keeping friendship with adults. It's just kids. If you look clearly, it's not really, there are some few, but it's not a natural attitude. It's not natural that you cannot roll with your peer. You roll with people that are it's somehow way younger than you, children. Something is wrong. It's not normal. So perpetrators are usually more interested in children. All around them is kids than adults, particularly a child. I said this before. There might be 7 children, but there's one particular child that this perpetrator is always farming around with, always giving out gifts, gives the child extra attention. Even if the child offends somebody, the perpetrator will support that child. Always there for it, always giving the child listening ear. There are people that are like that naturally, but most times this is a very big telltale sign that something is wrong with your child and something is wrong with this brother or with this sister. Then thirdly, perpetrators always test boundaries. As in signs of child groomers, they always test boundaries of your child comfort level. For example, they play sexualized games like truth or dare. What is a child doing with truth or dare? Then you now start playing that kind of game with a child, and you ask the child, what are you playing? Truth or dare? Uncle said I should dare today. Uncle said I should tell him the truth. Maybe it could be a perpetrator might come with truth or dare, truth. Do you tell your mommy anything? Do you tell your daddy anything? Do you do this? All those still questions to identify the privacy level of that child. That is why it's very important as parents from a very low age, from a early age, start teaching your child about privacy. Where to touch, where is private. Don't touch this. Don't touch my vagina. Don't touch my penis. Don't call it pontu. Don't call it tomato. Give it names. Call it what it is, so that if somebody says it outside, it will not land. It's not every kid. Forgive me, but reality check. Every kid is not as smart as every child is not generally smart. So call it for what it is, so that when they go out and somebody calls it by that name, they will not see it strange. Okay, my mommy said they should not touch my pontu, but this uncle said vagina. So they are two different things. It's not every child that is smart. So say it what it is. Rather call it for what it is. Then strip games. You see some adults playing truth or dare, telling the child to strip. Show me your penis. Show me your pee. Show me your vagina. Then the adult will not pull his own. What kind of game is that? Then street games, truth or dare, show your private part game. Yes. Then the adult enters the child's room without knocking, even if it's a general room. If an adult and the child is still small, the child should learn how to knock. The adult should learn how to knock. Always put that as a telltale sign. The adult just enters the child's room without knocking, especially when he knows that this child is going to have his or her bath, or the child will be naked at a particular point. Then this goes, and now I'm going ahead, but now that the idea just came in, this goes to tell parents that don't allow your kids. You see some parents will say, you not get breast now, you not get anything for chest. They'll allow their daughters be running around the pants, all around the neighborhoods, the compound, the streets. They'll be playing and running around the pants. If they pull that pants, an adult, they can always, maybe for a boy child, they can always check that child. And you see the child sleeping, the child will be having erection. For a child, that is very abnormal. So always wear your kids' clothes. Pico, now that it came up. Yeah, so another telltale sign is intimidation. They will test, perpetrators will always test the child's reaction to being blamed for something. So if your child, all of a sudden, if your child is that type that is defensive, your child never admits to doing something. All of a sudden, the child is now becoming submissive. Something is wrong. Very, very wrong. Because that means something has happened that is making the child feel intimidated. So the child will always apologize. Always, whether it's right is wrong, we always apologize and apologize and apologize. Apology, especially when it's undeserved, does not mean that the person is polite or the person has character. Sometimes apology like that could be a sign of intimidation and low self-esteem. So those are telltale signs of child grooming. Equally, sharing sexuality, the child begins to see start beginning to see his own pair mates as, go and play with so and so, your friend, the best friend. Go and play with your best friend. The child starts growing distance from his or her friends, start feeling mature. You that is 7-year-old, you started thinking, you started talking, saying things that a 14-year-old person not even said. Not in terms of education now. I'm referring to insight towards sex and all that. He started saying, using raw languages that you know you did not teach your child. The child starts saying, forgive my language, forgive my French. He starts saying, fuck you, when he's angry, fuck you, you bastard, you shut up pee-pee. Those kind of, and you know very well that you did not teach this child this thing, neither do you use it. So something is wrong. The child is getting it somewhere. So that is the time to call the child, interview the child. Those are telltale signs too. Like, where did you learn this from? You might be very surprised what you gain at the end of the day. Another telltale sign is intimidation, change of attitudes. The child becomes really quiet. The child becomes always apologizes for things that they do and things that they do not do. So basically, these are because it's more of a psychological thing. So you barely see physical. You hardly see a child groomer that is violent. They are usually normal, regular people. So there are rarely child groomers that use violence. I mean, to beat the child and all. So there are rare cases of injuries and all that. So it's more or less like a psychological thing. And the only way to identify it is through the child's character, the child's behavior. So these are the signs.
Yeah, you've said a lot, like, and I wouldn't want to recap. I wouldn't want to recap because you've really said a lot, and I'm sure those that will be watching this video, because it's going to be on the page, and I'm sure maybe you are going to download and share later. So those that would watch, they would, catch on what you've said earlier. And I
Yes.
think one thing I held on to while you were talking is the fact that a child groomer is not violent. Rather, they are like taming the child, kind of subduing the child subconsciously till they attack, like a
Yeah.
lion.
Yes.
When compared to somebody, a rapist who uses force and violence and all of that. So it also means, from what you've said, that I've already captured, it means that if parents are not observant enough, they will not even see these signs
Mm.
until their kids or adolescents or is abused before they know. They may not even know. Throughout their lifetime, they may not even know. So I really appreciate that fact that you shared. And then, so we don't have any question for now. So the next question I have for you is now, we've said a lot of things. So how can we ensure our adolescents do not or does not, like now talking maybe just one, become a child groomer?
Okay, this is a very, very important thing that our society does not pay attention to. A lot of a lot of victims, which is groomed children, they grow to become groomers themselves. And this is because the case was not properly handled. So they grow up to become groomers. Like I said at the beginning, most times because the perpetrator and the victim, they are people that are close to the family. So most African society make shame not come catch us, make them not come embarrass our family, more will not carry our family secrets, go disgrace ourselves outside. So they just make we kill them. They just sweep everything under the rug, and they expect that child to be normal. At the end of the day, like, you just betrayed me. Somebody violated me. Somebody violated my trust. Somebody that, and I will still be seeing this person every day because this person is close, is a family member, is a neighbor, is something. And you expect me to just wash it away like nothing happened. So this trauma goes on with the child, and the child becomes, because the child, just because the child doesn't mean that it does not have vagina. The vagina will not work one day. In terms of sexually, the vagina will not activate. Just because the vagina activates, the hormones will not become like
Yeah.
mature. Will not mature. Yeah, just because it's a child and he has a penis doesn't mean that one day sexually that penis will not mature. So yes, a downside to grooming is that if the child is supposed to, those organs are supposed to mature, fully mature by 15, by 10, when the child has been groomed, those organs are already mature. It drags maturity, drags it way as in faster than the way it's supposed to be. So now those hormones that have been activated, what do you want the child to do with it? How do you want the child to tame it? You did not, as in like you didn't give the child support. You didn't even educate the child on, okay, if you're feeling like this, do like this, do like this. You just left the child and say, it happened, that happened. You will not be the one to be forgiven. You didn't ask the child's consent. What do you want us to do to this person? Would you like us to, as in like, show that you actually defended your child, be there for your child? Nothing. You just imagine and you just want those things to just wash away. It doesn't happen that way. That child does not have the that child does not have the skill, does not have the skill, and is scared to go and meet a older person and say, uncle, please sleep with me. So what the child does is to go to the younger ones. He knows that they will not say anything and start abusing those younger ones. So 90% of groomers are actually were groomed themselves. Now to how we can our society. What's the question again?
Sorry?
That what's the question again? Pardon me.
See? No, it's okay. It's okay. I said, how can we ensure our adolescents do not become child groomers?
Oh, they did not become child groomer. Yes, thank you. So how we can ensure that they did not become child groomers? Number one, very important, warding off groomers, which is standing up to protect our children. Every parent is supposed to have a sort of like a standard for their child, because your child cannot defend himself at that age. So you're supposed to set up a wall for your child, in the sense that when you notice that a child or an adult is becoming too friendly with your child in a way you don't like, you call the adult aside, politely tell the adults that you politely tell the other, put there and explain the boundaries you have with your child. Please don't be offended, but I don't really like them. I don't really like when they take my child, when they put my child on the traumatized and all that. You know what happens now? Don't be offended. I'm not saying you do it, but I would appreciate if you don't carry my child like that. The person might be offended. That is why you should ask them for support. Then like, oh, please don't do that. But I will equally appreciate if you see anybody carry my child like that, help me to talk to the person too. Ask them for support. If the person is a groomer, the person's alert level will be high that, okay, this child is no-go area. The parents are actively involved with this child. So I cannot tamper with this child. Go away. But if it's not a groomer, the person will apologize anyway and be like, okay, and help you. And see that, oh, the person she's just protecting her child. There's nothing wrong there. So number one, warding off groomers by setting up standards and boundaries for your child. Then number two, a support system for your child. But I was groomed I was almost groomed. I experienced it. But what helped me was when my mom found out, the approach was what really helped me. I wonder if she had not done what she did. And what she did was, number one, she made this really public. She like told everybody about it. See what this brother did. See what this brother did to my daughter. Can you imagine? She was really mad. I was still really young, but I saw the way things were going. I didn't say anything, but I was following up mentally with what was happening. She told everybody. Everybody gathered. They embarrassed him. He moved out of the area. Those kind of things. So I felt okay. Nobody blames me. Number one, nobody's giving the child the support system. If your child has been groomed, first of all, you have to let the child understand that it's not your fault. You were still a child. It wasn't like you know what is right and wrong. You're still a child. Nobody's blaming you. The adults, this brother or this sister that did this is the one that is a devil. Nothing, you didn't do anything. Then number two, that is the time to talk to the child about privacy. Talk to the child sex education, because those hormones, they've been awakened. So that is the time to talk about it and talk to the child on how to manage those hormones. If you are feeling this way, my mom will tell me, go and read Psalm 23. Psalm 23 is a part of the Bible. So whenever I'm thinking, whenever my mind, the mind is something that you can barely control. Even as a child, whenever my mind goes to that direction, I start reimagining the things that he did. I just go and carry Psalm 23 and start reading. So that helped me. And she made me understand that this is wrong. Nobody was supposed to do it to you. It's wrong. So that really went far, a lot. It helped me. And another way you can help our kids, those that have been groomed, looking out for helping our kids, is always look for a code word to communicate with your child. Even as a child, you have the communication with your child, but always there are some groomers usually work. How would I put it now? Groomers usually are active in places where they know secrecy lies, like they can operate in secret. So if your child has been groomed, definitely your child might not be able to express his or herself rather. So always have a code word with your child. That when there is danger and you cannot tell me, you don't know how to tell me, always use this word. I will understand. Just something between you and your child. I will understand that, okay, you can't talk, something is wrong with you. For my aunt's children, I know this because I heard them when they were talking about it. So it's like use kukuruku when you see me. Use something simple and funny, and nobody would know what it is, but the mom understands. So whenever she uses for kukuruku, because as in like the mom knows that something is wrong with my child. So whenever she becomes alert, something is wrong with my child. So that is another way to help a child. Then trying to shield the victims. You're not helping your child. Whoever that perpetrator is, trying to protect the person, a family matter, sweep it under the rug. You are not helping your child. That child will grow up feeling betrayed. That child will grow up feeling victimized. That child will grow up feeling dirty. That child will grow up feeling worthless, low self-esteem, low confidence, and feeling I don't belong. Will not be able to betray generally. And if you're not careful, the child will grow up hating you because you were aware that this thing happened to me. Because the child now has trust issues, in even if he goes and has a relationship, is an intimate relationship with another person, the child will not be able to open up and really enjoy love. to really enjoy love, because this feeling of insecurity and distrust will always be there. So the child will always feel insecure, and if you trace it back, child grooming, because the parents did not stand up for the child. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you said a lot. And thank you, Fatima, for joining. Then Edu said she's following the conversation closely. She said victims recycle the abuse chain, just like you said earlier.
Yes.
Like perpetrators becoming, victims becoming perpetrators, then it becomes a vicious cycle, such that if it is not tackled, it goes on and on
On and
and on
on.
and
Yeah.
on. Yeah. And you've mentioned what parents can do to ensure that they protect their children, and when they see predators, what they should do. Then she also said child groomers operate where secrecy lies. Yes,
That's my
like
point.
just reiterating what you said. Yeah, she's just
Yes.
reiterating what you said. Thank you so much for following closely
Thank
and for
you.
those comments and all of that. So the last, okay, second to the last question, not the last question. Now, how can we support our adolescents? Because now we are talking about adolescents. How do we support them? Those who have been victims of sexual child grooming. You've mentioned some of those things that we can do, that parents can do. Maybe you have other points you want to add to it. So how can we support adolescents who have been victims of sexual child grooming or perpetrators? Maybe the adolescents themselves, they've been perpetrators before. So what can
Yes.
we do? We can't just leave them to. So what do we do to support them?
Um, it all boils down to values. Adolescents are now children. They are still kids, but they are now above. Sorry, adolescents are age 10 to 19. They are still kids, but mentally they are now growing to become independent. That teen stage, and gradually they become youth. So it all boils down to values. What you have taught your child before, these are the things that are formative building blocks that would help your child to forge on, with or without you, in your absence and in your presence. So how we can support adolescents on this is: number one, empower young adolescents to resist the unique sexual grooming by imbibing values and morals, which start by teaching them privacy and sex. Then number two, cases where a child shares inappropriate images or videos, parents can request the platform to block any further sharing of the files. Now, if I'm this in Facebook, for example, Instagram, in short, social media, once in a while you see a video or images of a young child that pops up and becomes viral. Maybe the child was doing something inappropriate, open, sexualized and inappropriate. It just becomes viral. Now, if your child has been involved in something like that, apart from sitting down to having the talk on letting the child know that this thing you have done is not.
What happened? Okay, and we were enjoying the conversation. No, what happened? What happened to you? Whoa. Anyway, and we're almost there. Like, we just have like two questions to go and we just round up now. Our internet is crappy. Okay, she's back.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, we're back. Okay, I was saying, cases where a child has been involved in posting viral content or viral inappropriate content. In that kind of case, the parents is expected that the parents should talk to the child. This is not a case of beating the child now. Mm-mm. This is gone beyond beating the child. So this is where you actually have to call the child and talk to the child. Humans are humans. Even know how stubborn a human is, there's a way to talk to that person. The person would hear. No matter how stubborn, there's always a code. There's always a way to talk to that child, to that person. Even a grown-up adult. Even a grown-up adult, if you're in a relationship and all that, there's always a way to talk to your man. There's always a way to talk to your girlfriend, your woman, your wife, that they will understand. Maybe the person is not the type that likes you shouting. So you know that if you have that kind of child, What is expected? Would you shout on that child? The child will not hear. It is who a child, the personality of a child that grows to become an adult. So it's the same thing. If you have a child that is stubborn, what is expected that you should use love now to talk to the child, not by beating. If you beat the child, you are doing what every other person would do. It's not strange. It's not new. Those kind of children, so someone will tell you, "Where is she?" As in repeat your chest and be like, at the end, when you finish flogging, they'll be like, whatever. It doesn't make so. Talk to the child with the child's love language. How does this child, as in like what actually appeals to this child? Is the child the type that likes to be given gifts? If you know that kind of child, then if I were that parent, I would get my child a gift. Put it aside. I'm not giving you just yet. Listen to what I have to say first before I give you this gift, and I try to make you understand that I'm not condemning you for what you did, because I want you to always feel free to talk to me. I'm not condemning you for what you did, although what you did was wrong, but I will appreciate if you could talk to me about this next time before doing something like, even if you feel this way, talk to me about it. I'm going to give you this gift because I don't want you to feel terrible about this. Don't worry, it's wash away to do this, but try not to do this next time. I feel betrayed. I feel hurt by this thing you did. It allows the child, that guilt. If my mommy tells me, I feel hurt by this thing you did, Mama, I feel horrible. I feel really, really horrible at the end of the day that, see what I did. She didn't flog me, but I feel bad that I could actually make her feel hurt. So every child has a love language, same for an adult. So talk to the child, know your child's love language, and use that to talk to your child. Then if a case where a child has shared inappropriate images or videos, you can always contact the social media platform and tell them to take it down. They can always do that. I know most people do not know this, but you can always do that. They can always take down videos and images and block it. Then in a case where your child is being catfished, I explained the meaning of catfish earlier, is being catfished, the best thing to do is to block the user after talking to your child. Block the user. There are telltale signs that the child is being catfished. The child is always online 247. The child is always talking to an imaginary friend. You go to the person's profile, there's no profile, maybe just one or two pictures. There's no history, nothing to show that this person exists. There's no tag to that email, to that social media account, no tags to it, no relative, no. The account just looks lone and alone. Like the person always comes online inappropriate times and communicates with that child inappropriately. You know that your child is being catfished. So what do? You block that account and talk to your child. Then even if a young teen makes sexual advances to an adult, there are cases where adolescents, they are the ones now trying to catfish and make sexual advances to their crush or an adult. If it's that kind of case, the adult should take responsibility and help that child by saying no. A child is not a free gift. Not be see free gift or more young blood. No, a child is a child. It's natural that a child will feel crush. My child might crush on you. You are not a ghost, so it's normal. But as an adult, what do you do when a child, an adolescent, comes to you with a crush and is talking love to your ears? Please educate that child with love. Educate the child and say no. You are helping that child. The child might feel terrible, might feel hurt at that particular time. But when the child grows to a certain age, that child will appreciate you and thank God for your life, that what this person did to me. So please say no to a child making advances at you. Then advise and support victims who have gone through this. Tell them it's not the end of the world. Don't stigmatize your child. Not that maybe the child now does something wrong much later. Any little thing, you that, let me use pigeon now. So as you big reach, so this uncle fit touch you. So as you smart reach, so as you think say you know reach, so this uncle fit touch your yansh, touch your this, touch your, you are killing that child. For every time you make the child remember that incident, you are killing the child slowly. You are killing the child mentally. You are killing that child physically. You are killing that child emotionally. For every time you allow the child remembers. So don't stigmatize the victim, and don't let people stigmatize your child. Don't allow people to trash talk your child, even if it's an auntie or a senior auntie, and the auntie wants to reference it, end it. It's your child they're talking about. Your child is not a subject of discussion. It's your child. So determine what they say and what they don't say, so that they don't end up stigmatizing, putting a label on your child. Then work on your child's self-esteem and confidence. Take it really seriously, because at that point, the child's self-esteem is really low. So help them build it, help them maintain it. And a good way to maintain your child's self-esteem, your adolescent self-esteem, is by teaching them how to talk to themselves. I do it a lot. Before I sleep, I always go through my day, reiterate through my day, like, what have I done? What have I not done? What did I do wrong today? Did I offend someone? Okay, this thing I said about at this point was not right. Okay, I make a mental note or a physical note. Okay, I'll talk to this person about this tomorrow. Then if I felt bad, if I feel terrible before I sleep, I talk to myself, no, it was not your fault. I go through it, get the lesson, learn the lesson I'm supposed to learn from it. Then I take it out of my head. And how do I do that? I talk to myself, okay, you're still learning, you still have a long way ahead of you. This is just an experience. You're smarter than this, you're that, you're beautiful, you're intelligent. Talk to yourself. Enjoy your company. Talk to yourself. If you enjoy your company, nobody can drag you into peer pressure. It's very hard for someone to drag you to peer pressure when you enjoy your company. Nobody can want to nobody can want to force you to take a cigarette when you enjoy your company. Because if you enjoy your company, it shows that you love yourself. You've gotten to that stage where you love yourself, as in like you enjoy your company and you love yourself so much. And if you love yourself so much, you get to realize, okay, this works for me. This doesn't work for me. This can work for this person. It doesn't mean that this can work for me. So self-evaluation is a very, very important key. All this I said is under self-evaluation. Always know yourself. Aristotle said, man, know thyself. If you know yourself, nobody can affect. It will be hard for someone to tamper with your self-esteem and tamper with your self-confidence. Even if you were abused, even if you were groomed as a child, even if you are suffering from whatever mental issues, it will be hard for somebody to tamper with you, to want to take you back to that trauma. You are the one that drives the vehicle. So it all goes to self-evaluation and knowing yourself. Then social media. Social media should help this is our society now. Social media should help by litigating and following through with complaints and reports. There are cases where parents have laid complaints. Maybe their children posted inappropriate content, videos, and pictures. Then the parents followed up. They laid complaints. Then you see maybe Facebook. For example, Facebook. Example, a parent lays a complaint to them, writes to them to take down this content, and it takes them like 3 months to do that. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Or it could be that a child at that particular age posted, and later posted out of I want to belong, peer pressure. Then later the child's sense of morality returns to, like, I'm not supposed to do this. My parents will see this. What will happen to me in the future? Because adolescents at that age, they want to belong. They want to, they want to belong and all that. So most times they do things just to belong. So at that age, social media should be, as in, they should litigate. They should put out, how do I put it now? They should be able to recognize certain age limits and litigate, follow up with complaints and suggestions and reports of accounts. If somebody has reported an account, report this account, follow up. Why is this person complaining of this account? If you know that it was a case of sexual grooming or cases like this, it's expected that you should block that account, and not even block for 12 hours or block for 20 hours or block for, no, because you are protecting other children by following up and blocking the account and the user. So those are clear cases we can support our groomed children, adolescents, and make sure as a society that will fight this menace.
In fact, you brought encyclopedia with you. Like, you came in fully prepared. fully prepared. So, and I really, really appreciate all the points you raised. And while you were, making those points, I just want to thank those that joined. Ife Agbeja joined, Psych Wellness, then Nancy Ebere also joined. Thank you so much. And in fact, they were following closely as we were making the points. We were also dropping it again. Like Edu said, self-evaluation helps one to grow. Psych Wellness
Thank
also
you.
said, he said self-esteem is key. And I absolutely agree with that point. So going to the last question I have for you here is the parting shots you have for adolescents and caregivers. Your parting shot, yeah.
I came prepared.
Yeah,
uh,
like 100%.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
parting shot. First of all, I would like to appreciate Psych Wellness. Thank you. Thank you for honoring my invitation. Edun, thank you so much. It's Curtis. Thank you so much. Rolly, thank you so, so much. And every other person. Fatima, thank you so much. It's Curtis. Thank you all. Thank you all. To those that would listen, that would tune in after the program, the live feed broadcast. Sorry. Thank you for listening, because definitely this knowledge will not be. Don't just keep the knowledge. Recycle it, please. Tell everyone. Tell everyone. It's something that today you might not have a child, but tomorrow, but you have siblings, you have neighbors, you have people around you. So take this knowledge to them. A parting shot. My parting shot is from Edomola. She said parents need to talk to their words about crushes and normal feeling about their peers. Very, very true. Parents, adolescents, sexual grooming goes way apart from catfishing and catfishers. Catfishing, which is online, the online thing. Physically, it goes to crushes. I have a crush on this uncle. I have a crush on this auntie. Auntie will not take advantage and say, young blood for life. I want to feel young. I have small breast, young blood, and you now use the child as a toy. So talk to your child about crushes, talk to them about love, talk to them about relationships, talk to your children, talk to your adolescents, no matter how stubborn that child might feel. Even stubborn itself, stubborn, nobody was born stubborn. Something instigated that attitude. So talk to your child. If you talk to your child, it will go a long way to curb and to reduce future problems for you. In African society, there's no old people home or whatever. We live in a society that is how do I put it now? We live in a society that my kids will take care. Children are like investments. My kids will take care of me in old age. So when we quite live in a society where if the child is good, it's for the father. If the child is bad, it's for the mother. So
Yeah.
before we start saying which one is good, which one is not good, please, values, talk to your children. Start from, there's no age to start from. There's no, I will wait till when it's 3. Start talking to your child. Start giving them signs, code languages, code words, crushes, love. Start building that relationship with your child. Start talking to your child. And to our adolescents, the special message, parting gift I have to you is please, 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 please try to establish relationships with your parents. Your parent might be toxic. Yeah, there are parents who are actually toxic. Your parent might be the toxic type. But if you know that you have a toxic parent, somebody around you, it's not somebody, one person around you must be, one adult around you, one, even if not 2 or 3. At least look for someone you know you can confide in, you can talk to, you can onboard him. Because you see, this our shoulders is too small. God created it, especially for women. We have this tiny frame. There's a reason why we don't have big shoulders that is bigger than the world. God created it like this because He knows that we need each other. We need each other. So there's nothing like if I tell this person now, keep a secret to yourself. Because if you tell this person sometimes look for at least one person you can confide in to talk to. It's good for your mental health. It's good for you as a person to onboard into vent. So have one person at least you can always talk to, even if it's not your parent. If you have a toxic parent, try to
Yeah.
talk to someone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So you just have 12 seconds or to go, and I really, really appreciate you for honoring the invitation and everybody that joined in. Thank you so much, and I love you guys. Mwah.